What's up, Tenno? Liquid Rain here. So if you've made your way to this video, you want to know a little about Warframe, the introduction to the game, and which Warframe to actually pick. This video is going to show the entire tutorial sequence. It won't exactly spoil the storyline, mostly because there really isn't a storyline in this game yet. The developers are and have been working on fixing that. The new tutorial sequence, though, is a step in the right direction in making an actual lore for this game. I'm just going to shut up for a second and let the Lotus introduce the enemy.
Swallowing colonies whole, their clones flood the system from a hidden, toxic womb. The twin queens, the sisters, have sent their most beloved commander, Vor, on an urgent mission. To protect the twisted crusade they have begun. To transform the scattered colonies into an empire. To see that the Tenno, hidden and asleep, will never awake.
Very good cut.
So once we have witnessed Vor opening a portal, we're going to be given an option to choose one of three Warframes: Excalibur, Mag, and Volt. One thing you're going to notice about Warframes is that they have 4 skills: 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 of the skills are going to be your basic skills, and the 4th is essentially your super, your ultimate. In some cases, the basic skills are going to be better than the ultimate, and vice versa. So as you play the game, you'll be able to change your builds in order to fit the situations. Alright, first up we have Excalibur. Now, Excalibur is, as it says here, a perfect balance of mobility and offense. He's the ideal Warframe for new players. He's essentially the jack of all trades, the master of none. Now, his skills are Slash Dash, Radial Blind, Super Jump, and Radial Javelin. Slash Dash, you dash forward and you slice and dice everybody that's in your path. Radial Blind is a utility skill. You basically stick your sword up in the air, flash of light comes out, and it'll blind enemies that are within range for several seconds. It's good for stopping the damage coming your way. Super Jump is possibly the most worthless skill in the game. Essentially, you just jump higher. You're not going to really need to use this ever, since you can wall climb and you're a ninja, so you probably won't have that ever on your character. Radial Javelin is your ultimate, your super. Essentially, you slam your sword into the ground and it launches out javelins that will seek out enemies that are within range and impale them into the walls. Next, we have Mag. Mag is essentially the Magneto of Warframe. Mag's skills are Pull, Shield Polarize, Bullet Attractor, and Crush. Pull does just what the name implies. You pull enemies in a cone towards you and it will ragdoll them to your feet. Shield Polarize, you will restore the shields of you or your allies, and it will deplete shields of enemies. It depends on who's within range. Bullet Attractor, you'll magnetize a single target. It'll create a sphere around them. Any projectiles that are shot into the sphere will hit that single target. This can be combined with Excalibur's ultimate, Radial Javelin. Instead of the javelins seeking out individual targets, they'll hit the one target that has Bullet Attractor for tons of damage. Finally, Mag's ultimate is Crush. I don't like the description of the name, magnetizing the bones. I would just like to think that Mag takes advantage of the metallic traces in human body, and he raise them and crushes a person upon themselves. Now this will lift all enemies within range, and it'll crush them. So it's a great ultimate, one of the best in the game in my opinion. Finally, we have Volt. Volt obviously harnesses electrical elements. Volt's skills are Shock, Speed, Electric Shield, and Overload. Now, Shock, you shoot out a lightning bolt, that hit a single target, and then it will chain off of that single target and hit enemies that are within range. Volt's second skill is Speed. Essentially, it's a shout, a buff for you and your allies. It'll increase your movement speed by a lot. Volt's next skill is Electric Shield. You deploy a shield that is kind of worthless, kind of not. Basically, you shoot through it and it'll amplify your damage, increasing its critical damage and also making electrical damage. Bear in mind that your allies can also shoot through this shield, so it'll increase their damage as well. Finally, Volt's ultimate, the super, is Overload. Essentially, you send out a shockwave an electrical wave of energy, basically, that will kill enemies within range. And any electric items, you know, electrical boxes, computers, and lights, they'll be overloaded, and it will amplify the damage, and it'll continue chain reacting as long as there's electrical devices. So this ultimate can go for a very, very long range. So now you're wondering, Liquid Rain, which Warframe do I choose? That's a good question. Alright, I'm going to say that you choose whichever Warframe skills seem most fun to you. You'll be able to pick up all these Warframes throughout the gameplay. So if you end up picking a Warframe that you don't like, just hang in there, play the game. You'll be able to unlock other Warframes. The community is great, and I'm sure people will be willing to help you get a Warframe that you would like. I would suggest that you pick Excalibur, though. Excalibur can't be obtained until later in the game. You have to get to Pluto to be able to get his Warframe parts. Mag, on the other hand, is only on Mars, which is just a couple planets away from where you begin. And Volt, you need to join a clan in order to get the blueprints. Alright guys, so I have chosen the Excalibur Warframe, that jack of all trades, master of none. This will allow you to kind of better see the skills in action. There's your one skill, your slash dash skill, which will slice your enemies in half. Here's your 2 skill, your radial blind, that kind of disables enemies for a short period of time. Again, with this game though, mods are going to be essential to your Warframe. They'll increase the power of your abilities. Here we just saw your ultimate, and obviously that was a better visual of them being kind of impaled by the javelins that come out. So the game is going to tell you how to do everything that's basic. Your shift to sprint. Kind of forgot how to jump there. It's spacebar if you didn't know. Maybe I just kind of misclicked it. So this game, the tutorial is also going to allow you to pick one of 3 melee weapons. Kind of got a Skana, kind of a medium range. You got these Fists of Fury, the close range, and then you got a bow staff, which gives you a little bit more range. Obviously, E is going to be melee attack. You can bind it to whatever other key you want. I'd recommend doing it to a mouse button as well, so you kind of easier to do the melee attacking and stuff while running around still. You'll also be able to jump, and if you melee attack, you'll do a ground slam attack, which kind of does various things. You also select your secondary. You kind of got a pistol, an auto pistol, and then you got some throwing knives. Again, I'm a ninja, so I'm gonna go with throwing knives. Kind of keep it ninja, I guess you could say. So this tutorial allows you to kind of get a feel for some of the weapons. Or at least the weapons you choose, you know, learn how to lead with them, their strengths and their weaknesses. Now, don't worry about which melee weapon you should select. There isn't one that is better than the other, really. Choose whichever one you'll have fun with. You'll be able to purchase these and make these weapons later, and you'll be finding all kinds of weapons anyways throughout the game that you'll want to craft. So just again, don't worry if you chose the wrong Warframe that you didn't like. You choose the weapons that you don't like. Don't worry, you can essentially change that. Just play through the game a little. So here we actually get to meet Vor again, because he's kind of a jerk and decides to shoot down our original escape ship. Okay, whatever. We'll kind of run around him because we don't want to fight him now. We're level 0. So what you can do is you can actually block projectile attacks in this game by holding your melee weapon up and kind of, you know, spinning it in a circle. So you're going to want to open up lockers and chests, because chests and lockers are going to have various things: ammunition, various resources, health, energy, and even white orbs, which are affinity. Affinity is experience, and this experience will apply to everything that you have equipped. Your Warframe, your melee weapon, your secondary weapon, and your primary weapon. We obviously haven't picked our primary weapon yet, so we're just gonna kind of deal with it. You'll notice that my health doesn't exactly get too low because the tutorial isn't that hard. If you have some trouble, you just need to learn the different aspects of the game first. You saw right there too that I was able to run, jump, and kind of melee attack and zoom across the map. You should also learn how to do that, because that's going to get you through the maps a lot quicker and allow you to kind of bridge gaps. You know, like right here, I'll show you. I'll jump off here and make it too far, a little too far, kind of sliding across. Yeah, so I gotta kind of jump around. Don't worry if you don't have everything down by the end of this tutorial. There's plenty of time to learn it throughout the game. Right there it told me to use a channel attack, which is essentially you power up your melee weapon, and it costs energy to actually do attacks. Here Lotus is kind of an ass, and she asks you if you remember how to wall jump and wall run. You obviously don't if you haven't played this game before. So don't worry. If you mess up a couple times, just go back and keep doing it. If you fall off the map, you essentially teleport back to where you jumped off. Now you can choose your primary weapon. You got a shotgun, an assault rifle, and then a bow and arrow. I'm a ninja, remember? So I'm choosing the bow and arrow. Now the bow and arrow is one of the best weapons in my game, in the game, excuse me. What you can do is you can actually charge up. So when you pull back when you draw your arrow back, as long as you're holding it, it does more damage and it has more momentum, obviously. So you also notice here that when I shoot that guy, the guy up there doesn't really care because the bow and arrow is a silenced weapon. So this weapon will allow you to actually stealth through missions too. Again, they're kind of clueless that I'm here. Here you see some sliding and some barrel rolling, so I didn't actually fall off the map. Running and sliding actually gets you through a lot quicker as well. Here is the first cipher you'll run into in the game. These are essentially just little puzzles you use to get through computer systems. You also notice that at the bottom you could have clicked like use cipher and it had 0 ciphers. Essentially, it'll auto solve the thing for you. These can be made in your foundry later on in the game. Don't really worry about it. They're not much of a hassle to solve. So now we kind of got to wait here and wait for our the ship's AI to kind of figure out how to actually turn on his ship. So we got to defend a little. Right there you saw that I actually ended up getting a 2-for-1. That's the unique thing about the bow and arrows, is that when you draw them back fully and then you launch it, they can actually pierce through multiple enemies. So the tutorial is nice because it allows you to, you know, kind of get a feel for the game. What's it gonna be like? You know, how the weapons that you've chosen are gonna perform. I probably could have made a video using all the different warframes. Here you see that if you don't charge it up, you're kind of less accurate, and you know, you kind of don't do as much damage, obviously. So we just gotta defend for a little bit while our ship's AI gets clear.
The ship is ready. It's time to leave.
As you can see, Lotus, our friendly AI Cortana, essentially is telling us we're ready to go. My guy forgot how to hold the bow and arrow, so he's gonna teleport into his ship. Now the great thing is that this ship is your ship. Eventually you'll probably be able to customize it a lot more than you can. Right now it's kind of limited in customization, but who cares, because before you didn't even have your own ship. So you notice an inbox here. The inbox is going to have different messages from different AIs throughout the game. You don't really need to check it. If you want to be immersed in the lore, you should. So you can see here in your ship too, there's all these different consoles that have segments that are required. Now since you chose to play through the tutorial, or you were first to play through this tutorial, you're going to have to play through different missions throughout the game, different quests, to actually unlock the segments that are needed to make these consoles work. Luckily though, this first tutorial mission, they gave you one segment, and this segment can only be used for your arsenal. Now all you need to do is approach it, there'll be a waypoint, and then you're going to insert your segment. What this does is it unlocks your arsenal for use. The arsenal is going to allow you to change the appearance of your warframe, your weapons, and different things throughout the game. It's also going to allow you to equip different weapons, warframes, and whatnot throughout the game. It also kind of serves as a mini marketplace. As you can see here, it shows the prices and credits and the prices in platinum of different weapons, so you can purchase them through here without actually having the marketplace. Additionally, you'll notice things are XP locked. XP locked is locked because of your mastery rank. Right now your mastery rank is 1, I believe, and by leveling up your weapons, warframes, and other things, it'll help towards your overall experience that will unlock mastery ranks. So now you're all set. Go ahead and start your first mission, which will be marked in your navigation console. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope that you actually learned something and this was informational for you. Just to recap which Warframe you should choose, which melee, secondary, and primary weapon you should choose in this tutorial. The answer was... That's right. It was whichever one looks the most fun for you. None of these weapons or Warframes are going to be the most overpowered in the game. They are your starter weapons and starter Warframes. So just pick whichever one you think is going to be the most fun, and as you play the game, you'll be able to unlock everything else that could be overpowered or even more fun. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment below.